ATMs are a hot
Fuck off. What should I watch? What should I fucking watch? I guess let's pause it and head back to the mansion. Here we are. How come this door is open? Like my stepmom and my stepdad's door. You know what I mean. Let's hit the bed. $7 in the morning. Today's Sunday. Man. Tomorrow is going to be my first day at my new school. Okay. The window is broken. Pick up. Yo, ho, stepson. Hey, Dad. Someone broke into our place, basically. Seriously? Yeah. There is a broken window here. Okay, I'll be down there in a minute. Okay, see you, son. See ya. I'm going. He will take care of that. Okay, let's head to somewhere in the city, I guess. In the north side of Miami. What YouTube video should I fucking watch? What YouTube video should I fucking watch, dude?
I'm Katie from New York. Before I tell you my story, please like and subscribe. My aunt said my parents had an accident when I was a baby, and since then, I've lived with her and my cousin Lucy. But you'd never guess another kid lived in this house. All the wall frames had pictures of just Aunt and Lucy. Lucy had the biggest room bursting with toys and books. Lucy had so many clothes, she had another room as a closet. And me? Well, I lived in the attic with her hand-me-downs. But I didn't care. All I ever really wanted was for Aunt to love me like she loved Lucy. So I did whatever Aunt asked me. I served her breakfast in bed, polished her shoes, painted her nails, but somehow she was just never happy. Once when I was 10, a new neighbor came to visit Aunt, and she looked awestruck when she saw me. What a beautiful child! They had gorgeous red hair and those adorable dimples. Adorable? They're just dents in her face. Stop smiling, Katie. You look like a moron. Go get us tea. I went to the kitchen, spat in Aunt's tea, and gave her the cup with a very serious face. There. But soon after I turned 13, my whole life was transformed. One day at breakfast, Aunt was going through the mail when suddenly she spat out her cereal. Just then, I saw the letter she was reading had my name on it. Hey, what's that? But Aunt had already jumped off her chair, and she threw the letter in the fireplace. Why'd you do that? It was mine. I saw my name. And who would write to you? You didn't see anything. As she stormed off, I couldn't help thinking, who would write to me? A few days later, the doorbell rang and a postman was standing outside. Express delivery for Miss Katie? Suddenly, a flying figure pushed me aside and attacked the postman. Oh my God! Aunt! I tried snatching the letter from her, but she was off with it like a bullet. What the freaking turtle? What was she hiding? I was dying to find out, but the letter stopped coming. But one evening, when the bell rang, Aunt ran to open the door, and standing outside were 2 bodyguards with a wealthy-looking man. Can you explain what happened to the letters and plane tickets I sent for my daughter? Wait, what? Just then, the man spotted me, and his eyes welled up. Oh my God, you must be Katie. You look exactly like your mother. I'm your dad, sweetie. Dad? You're my dad? Why didn't you come for me before? He tearfully explained that he and Mom had gotten divorced before I was born, and she told him never to get in touch. He found out just recently that Mom had an accident so long ago, and he tracked me down. As we hugged tight, I turned around to Aunt. You made me think he wasn't even alive. And why were you keeping the letters from me? Because you don't deserve to go live like a princess. You should be my maid after everything I've done for you. You've used me all these years. Used you? I did everything you ever asked, just so you'd love me. Did you ever love me at all? Even a little? No, how could I? You're like a toothache that just never goes away. That's what I was? Dad told me to pack my things immediately. But before going, I made sure to rub Aunt's toothbrush inside the toilet. Then I took Dad's hand and left without even saying goodbye. We flew over to New York, and I was shocked at the size of Dad's mansion. And my room was 5 times bigger than Lucy's. This was freaking awesome! As Dad was showing me around the house, I suddenly saw a tall woman staring at me coldly from a distance. Dad was married, so that must be my stepmom? Mary, there you are. Come meet Katie. But Mary just turned away and slammed the door behind her. Later that night, I walked past their bedroom to hear Dad and Mary talking in loud voices. It's her first day here, Mary. Think how unwelcome she must have felt. What about me? You just expect you'll bring a child home and I'll start loving her like she's my own? I crept away without hearing any more. Great. Another mom figure who already hated me. When I went down for breakfast the next morning, Dad greeted me with a smile, and so did Mary. Sorry, Katie. I wasn't feeling too well yesterday. I hope you slept well? Yeah, as if she cared. When I asked Dad for the orange juice, Mary quickly got up to pour it for me. And she dropped the whole jug in my lap. Oh my God, what are you doing? I'm so sorry. It just slipped from my hands. I know you don't want me here, but you don't have to be so petty. With that, I stormed off. Her whole innocent act was fake, and she proved me right soon enough. A few days later, I was walking over to the sofa in the living room when suddenly I tripped over something. I went flying straight into this weird statue, and I stared at the wreck in horror. Mary leapt up angrily from her armchair. Oh my God! How could you be so clumsy? Do you know what that's worth, an angel? What? What? You little brat! How dare you! You must have tripped on the carpet! That's enough! In case you both forget, we have guests. Kitty, please go to your room. I walked off angrily and slammed my door shut. I didn't trust her one bit. Dad got me enrolled in school soon, and I felt nervous walking into the huge building. A few kids were looking at me, and I smiled, and suddenly a bunch of boys were surrounding me. Oh my God, can you do that again? Do what? Smile, please smile again. I did, and all the boys liked these? Just then, a girl pushed through the crowd. Get away from her, you morons! You're scaring her! Hi, I'm Veronica. Exit. And with that, she pulled away a crutch and he landed hard on the ground. Veronica, are you crazy? Disappointed. When I went down that evening to tell him, he wasn't in his study. But I found freaking Veronica poking her nose through his thing.
I've come to know peak performance. That's why I use Sportsbet Same Game Multi. More markets, more offers, and bigger odds. Make it a multi with Sportsbet.
Me? You thief? Put that pen back right now, or else. And I just came to say, well, happy birthday. She stepped forward with the cake like we went to school, and I'd been asked out by this new boy who had all the girls drooling. That evening, I wore a gorgeous dress Mary had picked out for me. She'd even done my hair and makeup. I received so many compliments, and my date just couldn't keep his eyes off of me. We were slow dancing to a song when suddenly, someone pulled the back of my dress really hard, and I heard the fabric rip. Oh my arms. Because you told her about this scar. Even Dad doesn't know. I only told you. And you thought it could be something you'd tell Veronica to use against me? You're the most horrible person I know. You're even worse than my aunt. I hate you. As I cried furiously in my room, Dad came in and hugged me. Sweetheart, my school. Veronica, you're expelled. As Veronica stared at her in horror, the whole class erupted into cheers and applause. This totally made up for everything. And when I got home that afternoon, I heard screams from the living room. It was Veronica's mom. No one had been spying on Katie. Your stupid maid saw her scar one day and told us. And so what? My daughter played a harmless little prank and now she deserves to be expelled? Her entire future destroyed? All because of that stupid, disfigured, red-haired witch? Don't you dare talk like that about my daughter! And with that, Mary punched her. Get out of my house. You are not welcome here, ever. As the butlers led her out, and she went screaming, Mary suddenly saw me, and I started to cry. I'm so sorry, Mary, for thinking it was you. I've had a hard time believing you could really care for me. I heard you the first day. You said you couldn't love me like your own, and I guess I've been scared to love you, in case you didn't love me back. Oh, darling, I said that, yes, because I couldn't love you right away. It was also new for me, too. I've never been anyone's mom, but I've tried so hard to get to know you and love you, and I really do now, Katie. I love you. You're my daughter as much as your dad's now. I love you, too.
Hi, my name is Demelza. Please like and subscribe. Of her voice. She'd sing lullabies to me every night, and it was the most beautiful sound in the world. The minute she stopped, I'd start screaming for more. By the time I was 1, I could hum every lullaby perfectly. Dad would play the grand piano, and I'd jump onto his lap and press the keys, delighted by the sound.
I can't even remember who my mom or my dad is, or even if I have other siblings. That's how long ago, like I said before at the start, my parents ditched me at a young age, and I haven't seen them since.
Sounds I made. On Dad's 30th birthday, there was a grand celebration at our mansion. In the middle of it, I climbed onto the table and started singing the birthday song. Suddenly, a hush fell over the room. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you. When I was finished, I looked around in surprise to see grown men crying. Oh my God, she has the voice of an angel. I always had a feeling Demelza was gifted. I'm so proud of you, darling. My parents hired the best musicians and vocal coaches for me, and there was no stopping me after that. At every party, I'd put on a show for our guests, and I'd make them pay me too. My life was perfect until one day when everything changed. When I was in the 3rd grade, Dad had just returned from a business trip, and I stopped short when I saw a scrawny little girl get out of the car too. She was trying to hide behind Dad, but
It's the most triangle time.
Travel and first semester costs, as for first expenses, furniture, etc. She transferred her car to her mom's name so she could sell it and send us the money to pay for school. She would work, and I would study full-time. She was doing exactly what I did for her while we were back in our home country. I was working and covering most of the expenses, and she was training and studying. But But this time, I was studying. She was covering most of the expenses. But I was also helping, as I rented my apartment and still had some revenue from the agency. One of the first things we did after arriving was finding a place to live. We put some furniture in and opened a joint bank account. I'd like to take the time to also explain that I wasn't just naive. I was also very, very young at the time. She was just a half year older than I was. We found an apartment almost immediately, as we had friends living in the same building. We became door-to-door neighbors. It was great. Our friends were also a couple, and from the same country that we were from. So I was alone most of the time, as my thoughts ate me alive. I tried everything at this point, and I was becoming exhausted. One day, she comes home after work and goes for a walk with our neighbor's wife. I knew it was coming. She broke up with me when she got back. I was never a guy that would easily cry, but I cried like a baby that day. When I was a bit calmer, I called my parents. That made me cry even more, because I missed them so much. I went to bed crying, couldn't sleep, and ended up crying throughout the whole night. The next morning, I had a panic attack during class. I thought I was having a heart attack. I couldn't breathe, my vision was blurry, I could barely walk. I went to the infirmary, and there wasn't anyone there. I really thought that I was going to die that day. I laid down on the couch there and passed out. I woke up to the nurse assessing me, and I got the assurance that I was physically fine. I went home that day and stayed there, typed the divorce documents, signed it, just stayed there, doing nothing, just thinking. That day was the very last time that I saw my ex. A few days passed by, maybe 3 or 4, and I woke up to a weird dream that I had. During my dream, my neighbor's wife was telling me that my ex was expecting a baby girl. I had another panic attack. During that same day, I found out that she was already official with Dick. A friend in common texted me the details since they both deleted and blocked me from social media. She never admitted to cheating on me to anyone, but she was already pregnant at that time, and it wasn't mine. That same day, I got a call from the bank saying that my ex signed the papers to close the account and that I needed to go there to sign it too. The bank account was empty. She even had the audacity of texting me to ask for money for rent and utilities. Besides the $60 I had in my wallet, that was all the money I had left. I was livid and desperate. I didn't know what to do. Luckily, my parents were able to send me a couple $100s, and that's what I used to move out. I offered her to buy me out of the apartment, meaning that she would buy my half of the furniture, and she got offended. We never talked again, as I was livid. I changed my phone number and deleted and blocked all means of communication with her. I was able to move out, to the worst place I ever lived in, with all my furniture using the money that my parents sent. But I have to admit, I was eating just once a day because I didn't have the money to do anything else, and I was way too ashamed of my naivete in the situation to ask for more help. During that month, I noticed the number of friends I had on my social media was decreasing. I asked around and found out that for each group of friends that we had in common, she told a different story, and a different lie, all to her favor, of course. They went from, he's impotent, to, I was afraid that he was going to kill me. I understood that she was trying to justify what she did to me to keep her friends and justify the cheating. Of course, it pissed me off, but what really got me flabbergasted is that some people actually believed her. People that I once considered family believed that I was capable of doing such things. It really broke my heart again. Some of our friends in common didn't buy her lies and texted me saying that it's clear what happened, and I wasn't capable of the actions she was telling everyone. I was livid. I think I was never that angry before or after in my life, but in the end, I did nothing about it. I came to the conclusion that the people that believed her without talking to me were never really my friends, regardless of my feelings or consideration towards them. I also had bigger problems in my hands. How was I supposed to pay for my studies now? The time to pay up the school was coming, and I had no idea what to do. Nevertheless, my ex-mother-in-law texted me, asking me to pay her up for the cabinets and paint job that she paid for in my apartment. Basically, she was asking me to pay her back for a gift, but fine, let's do it. I explained to her what was going on with me, all the details, the slander, how her daughter and I had an agreement, that I was only in this situation because of what she did to me, how she did it, and that she got all my money. And that, after hearing all of it, if she still wants to be paid, that I would find a way to pay her back, even if it takes my whole life to do it. The only answer I got was, oh, never mind that then. I loved my ex-mother-in-law as a true member of my family, and I still only have positive feelings towards her. I remember it like it was yesterday, the day that a miracle happened in my life. I was actually in a calculus class trying to figure out how to pay the school, calculating what I could and could not do, when I received a message from my sister. A company that owed me money finally paid up. I had no hope whatsoever on collecting that money. They paid up the exact amount that I needed. It was during my most financially desperate time that they decided to pay. I can only consider this a miracle. What are the odds? I hope none of you ever experienced this amount of frustration, desperation, and anger that I felt ever in your lives, and I mean it. I decided to go out that weekend to celebrate with a couple of friends, where I could tell them the whole story of what happened until that point. It was an interesting experience. As I was telling them, the whole bar started to listen to my story. I've never had free drinks from strangers before. That was the very first and last time. I noticed a couple of friends were really uncomfortable. One was drinking like there was no tomorrow. I asked what was going on. Then, my neighbor's wife said, "I'd like to tell you something, but I promised not to tell." It was the exact situation I dreamed of. My body became cold, and I said, "I think I know what you're talking about."
Let's have a joint.
I continued,
Another
"She's
joint,
pregnant,
can.
and it's a girl."
Yeah, hello? Hey, son, you might want to get out of the city. Why? Someone is looking for us. The house got exploded. I escape. Me and your mum and your sisters, brothers are in Japan already. So you might want to move. What did you do basically? I wish to be a part of. I wish to be part of the MGF gang, but they betrayed me and I decided to go shut them up. Like, you know what I mean, shut up the gang. And now they're coming after me. They may do to that. They may fucking come after you, stepson. Even though we're not related, they may come after you. So if I was you, I would move somewhere else in the world. Don't move anywhere in America. They are, yeah, I got it. Okay. See ya. Great.
"How do you know?" she
Let's have
asked.
another joint.
"I had a dream where I dreamed of this very moment," I explained. Everyone was surprised, of course.
Let's pause it. Let's book me a flight to UK. There. Cool. Let's catch a plane and head to the UK, I guess. Hell yeah. I catch a plane and I decide to move to Australia in Sydney, New South Wales. I catch a Uber from the airport to here. So yeah, let's go look up on Google the real estate number of this place. Okay, cool. Hello. The south side of New South Wales. Yeah, hey, I'd like to buy a place here. Sure. What place are you looking for? Any fast, like, expensive, small apartment, anything really. I don't really care. Cool. I think I got a place where I'm at now. See ya. Let's head to the location. So, here's the place. Hey, welcome. Hey, how much would this be? $30,000. Give me a second. Here, and there you go. Thanks. See ya. Hell yeah. Lounge room. What else? Fuck yeah. The beach. Next to the beach. Hell yeah. Book me in high school for tomorrow, Monday. There we are. Dinner table, another balcony gas. Then over here, the bedroom. Hell yeah. Storage. Bathroom. Cool. Let's chill on the balcony. Out here and smoke and yeah. Let's YouTube. Press play.
5. I was the middle child.
Let's roll.
I was never loved by either of my
fucking
parents.
blunt.
Neither the one contracted out to Iraq, nor the one raising me at home. This was just a biased conclusion of mine, resulting from confrontations and conversations with the both of them. I was raised in a Lutheran family, not that it matters. My life has never really had anything to do with what lies above. My best friend, since I remember, was raised in a crack house. Also not that it matters, since no outside individual has had that much of an effect on my life. Until then. I went to private schools, funded by my hard-working parents, until I decided I wanted to switch over to public high school at that level of education. Up until high school, I was always obedient and never raised any red flags with my parents. Mostly my mother, since she was the sole parental figure in my life. Father was always deployed or contracted out to a foreign country. Once high school hit, I was the typical loser at the start. Since I didn't know much of the teenager life considering my upbringings in the private schools. I had known nothing aside from Bible banging and the seasonal soccer games. From my fairly tall for my age and quite stocky, my brain led me to joining the football team, where I learned many valuable lessons of teen puberty which are in no need to be mentioned. I went on to find a liking to running the distance races, 1 and 2 mile, in track and field that year of high school, where I then decided that next year I would join the cross-country team instead of the football team. I found to like my slimmer, handsome body that came with being on the cross-country team, and decided to continue the trend by joining the swim team. This trend of handsome body forming led females to me. As females were a fairly new discovery to me, I found it quite interesting. And so, the first and possibly the only love of my life came along. It would be a lie to say that I don't remember every single encounter I ever had with her. She simply astounded me with every confrontation I had. I first saw her in the hallway, very typical of a first love from high school. She was wearing a beautiful white cardigan, blue jeans that were so tight to complement her oh-so-beautiful tight bottom, her hair straightened to the lower part of her back, and to top it off, the white trash sneakers indicating her trailer park livelihood. For whatever reason, I couldn't pass up my first sight of this beauty. My first passerby action on her went simply like this. "What is your name?" Followed by the answer of April. And she continued on her journey to whatever class she was scheduled for. My heart damn near exploded asking that question, never being so nervous for anything up to that point in my life. As every classical high school love novel goes, I pursued my interest in her, being as beautiful as I thought she was. I didn't say a word to April for months to follow. I only passed her in the hallway, nervously thinking of what I should say. One day came where I decided to ask her to attend a school play with me, and by God, it somehow worked. April said, "Yes, I will attend the school play with you." It was something lame like Robin Hood. I had no intentions of giving the play my attention. I had all eyes, 2 of them, on her. April and I, mostly April, had a splendid time at the play. So much that she decided to join the high school actor and actress group, whatever it was named. Regardless, April and I soon became that ordinary boyfriend-girlfriend you see at school every day, kissing at the locker, walking one another to class. April and I had many memorable events that I would love to share, but I don't have the patience to share. It all seemed to end in an instant, and high school was over. Fun was forever gone, never to appear in my mind again or ever happen again. As soon as high school was over, I proposed to April. She said yes. We had a white trash wedding at the courthouse with only our best friends in attendance. Soon thereafter, parting ways to go to separate colleges. In a few explainable events, my parents were soon both led to suicide. I then found never to be the answer. With my somewhat financial stability gone, I turned to joining the military. I joined, went to the military's basic training, and was then sent off to Germany without leave. Upon my arrival in Germany, I instantly called my lovely wife to tell her of my oh-so-wonderful experiences in basic training and others up to my arrival in Germany. She sounded so effing heartbroken while talking to me. as I had previously told her that it didn't matter where the same month. Early on the morning of June 3rd, my wife, April, and my sister, Denise, were on the way to the airport. A drunk driver crossed over the median, killing both my only living family and my beloved wife. Here I am, on the second Christmas, without a family to belong, finally bringing my story to the public. Think running from the police is scary?